Hello, everyone. If you are listening right now at this very moment, you are in the commuter spot, and I'm your host, D Commuter. This programming is brought to you by Golden Way Transport Services Incorporated, offering freight dispatching and consulting services. For more information, please go to www.goldenwaytransport.co. Now let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about road safety. So we all in this commuter world, we are out there either driving or spending time in airports or rail stations, whatever method of transportation that we're using. Typically we're alone while we're doing these things because we're working, right? So we don't really have our families and our friends along with us, so we're out there by ourselves. Now, ladies, this is really, I really want you to listen in on these things. Now, we all know basic safety awareness because we should all be practicing that every day because you know the kind of world that we live in. But you know, if you're new to an industry and you're out here traveling, you have to heighten your awareness because you're in areas that you may not be familiar with. So you definitely want to keep your eyes and ears open and just be very, very alert. So let's talk about some of those things. And as far as industries go, you know, that could be any industry that requires you to travel. So, you know, from my experience, right, at this moment, we're going to speak about the trucking industry. So if you are in the trucking industry and you're out there driving from state to state, coast to coast, and any other profession that you're in and you're out there on the road, please, I can't say it enough, be very cautious, be very aware of your surroundings. So my ladies, my female truck drivers out there, such as myself, I really hope that you are paying full attention to some of the distractions that you may be unaware of, but there may be things that you're accustomed to doing in your truck, because a lot of us tend to kind of customize our surroundings, our atmosphere inside of our truck to our liking, so which is perfectly fine, but you just have to understand that you may think that you're the only one that sees that, but a lot of times if you have signage or colors of certain types of colors, such as pink, or you know, any colors that kind of represent that girly feminine feel, which, you know, a lot of men like a lot of bright colors too. But if you're customizing your truck and you're putting all these figures or curtains or any other type of design or decor in your truck that you can actually visually see from the outside, then other people are looking in, they're like, oh yeah, okay, so the lady's driving that truck. Just that alone could, you know, just invite in some, you know, possible interactions that you may not, you know, be looking for. So, you know, just unwanted attention. So we want to lessen that unwanted attention as much as possible. So, you know, and I, you know, for myself, although I love the color purple. Oh, you heard that movie's coming out, by the way. But no, although I love that's my favorite color, I don't just design my truck around that color. But however, now, you know, that some fleets have particular colors for their trucks. So you may have a someone may have a fleet of purple trucks, which is beautiful. There may be a fleet of pink trucks, which are beautiful. I've actually seen some out on the road that a lot of guys are driving. These pink vehicles, some of them are in representation for breast cancer awareness, and which is all great. But ladies, I've also seen in truck stops where trucks are parked and nice little cushiony teddy bears are sitting in the windows. Heart-shaped design things in the windows. Now, of course, that could be a DOT violation if you're driving with these, obstructions of your view. But I'm sure that we aren't doing that. It's just the fact that maybe when you're parked and you're comfortable, you just now, putting these things out to help, maybe increase your vibe or your energy for the day. You want to, showcase these things to help you feel or get into a better place to prepare for work. But there are people on the outside looking in or trying to look in, and that may be some unwanted attention there. So, be careful of what you put in your windows, and just be really very cautious. And I know that sometimes when you're working on a tight schedule and you're working within that 14-hour rule and you've driven 11 hours for the day, some of us don't tend to drive that long, but if you do, and your clock is kind of ticking and you're just looking for that place to park, so you're parking on ramps or off ramps, or you're parking in rest areas, you want to definitely be aware of your surroundings there also. So some rest areas have safety cameras out, and some are even have a surveillance or maybe even some security available, but there are some that are rather dark and just sort of deserted, and so you want to be aware of the possibility that you could get that knock at your door. And we've all had that in truck stops or other mom and pop stores, where people just randomly come up and knock on your truck. They're either they may be asking for money or soliciting other services. So we want to err on the side of caution with that as well. So be careful of the places where you park. Guys tend to do this a lot. It really doesn't matter if they're in a dark area, lit area. For some, that's very important. For others, they just want a good place to park and sleep because their time is ticking, and there's not much time to just find the perfect parking, which is hard to do when you're in a trucking, because it seems as if everybody's in the same area at the same time, even though this is it's a big place, a lot of parking in a lot of areas throughout the U.S., and yet we're still scrambling for parking. So it seems as if when we're ready for parking, someone else is there, times 100, and then you're like, where's everybody going? So weekends tend to be slower because a lot of people like to make their way home and be home on the weekends. So a lot of times on the weekends, we can find decent parking. But if you're in that rush to park, still be very cautious of where you're parking your truck, because, some of these places that you may not be familiar with are in areas that, aren't the safest. And, even areas that we feel like we are that are very safe, we still want to be very cautious, because crime these days, it just doesn't have a name on it. It's it can happen anywhere, but you want to definitely be aware that people target truck drivers, people target tourists, people target people who just don't appear to know where they are or what they're doing. So you want to be very careful of your surroundings, even when you're in and out of your truck or car or you're going to hotels. A lot of times truckers, you're ready to get out of those trucks and get into a hotel to get a little more comfort. Be aware that people see you. You may think that you're alone and there's no one around, but there are eyes on you at times where you wouldn't even think that there are. So just be cautious. Be careful where you're parking. Be careful of the distractions that you put up in your windows, and just really be aware that everybody isn't good. So if you're new to the industry and you're just wondering, because a lot of this, in this day of time, a lot of females are getting into trucking. So that's very rewarding, and that's exciting for the trucking industry, for women, as well as for males. So I'm very excited to see more ladies out driving, but I know that a lot of them also think about this before getting in the trucking industry. They think a lot about safety, and their families are, encouraging or discouraging them based off safety reasons. So just know that we're this community of commuters is very aware of what you may be feeling and what you're going through when you decide to step into an industry such as trucking. So if you like to have more information or to be a member of this community of commuters, we invite you to go to our website at www.patreon.com/commuter spot. And there, we love to have your membership. It's free, just to subscribe, get the latest updates on what we have going on in future shows. And if you like to share any insight or share a story with us, please, we like to definitely have you involved. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll finish up some more tips on safety, and then we'll close out, and I will see you guys back in a few. Thank you for staying with us here in the Commuter Spot. We were discussing safety on the road, safety, which is very, very important. We also want to talk about safety when we're actually operating the trucks, because there we need to also be very aware and utilize less distractions. And some of those distractions could be eating while driving, talking on the phone, texting, which of course is against the law. But there are a lot of little distractions there, even listening to your favorite music and dancing and jamming down the road. These are all distractions. Although you can do them while driving, you want to create, you definitely want to be focused on the road. The idea is just to be more focused on the road, because that is where, if an incident occurs, a lot of that will be shifted on the driver, and it's usually that way. Even if someone else is at fault, you as the driver are always looked at first. So you want to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's, and you're always being very, very alert, even when you're doing some of those simple things that could cause a huge distraction. So, if you're taking your lunch break and you want to be that should be the time that you just eat your feast. You may not want to eat, fried chicken and collard greens and cornbread while you're driving, but if you have to have that Subway sandwich, something you can hold while you're driving, then that may substitute for that, because sometimes we just need a snack, right? We want to eat, and we'll have a show about healthy eating on the road also. But for now, we all snack and drive. So, share with us some of the stories that, some of the things that you tend to do while you're driving, but you get the job done, and you're not in any type of violation, but you are just simply doing what makes you feel comfortable and what helps you get through the time of driving at these long hours. So make sure that you're keeping a fair distance between these cars. I notice that a lot of times, even though we know we shouldn't do it, truck drivers are nearly on the bumper of the four-wheelers, which, if for people who are new to the industry, the four-wheelers are the cars, the vehicles smaller than ours on the road. So, being in their rear end is very unsafe, because at any given moment they could hit the brakes, and then that could cause a very, very tragic or messy scene. So we want to make sure that we give ourselves enough room to brake in case these situations happen. So, because a lot of times cars get afraid too when we're merging on the highway. They're afraid, or they're merging on, and we're in that very far right lane, and then they're just frantic. So some of them do things like suddenly start driving slower or speed up when there's not enough room for them to pass or to switch into the lane, or merge into the lane. So there's a lot of unsafe driving out there on both the truckers and the four-wheelers part, but we have to do our part as professionals to be very aware of what the possibilities could be, and the things that other people may do that could cause a whole catastrophe. So let's stay alert, please, on that, and let's just give people room to make those mistakes, and it won't cost us anything when that happens. Also, for you truckers out there, you want to make sure that if there's an emergency and you're broke down on the side of the road, that you have some backup equipment or tools that you may need for these emergencies, such as flashlights, maybe a map. We used to use Atlas all the time, but then, the era of technology, just advanced so much that we could just utilize our cell phones. But there are still some very rural areas. There's some areas that we don't get the greatest phone service or coverage, and sometimes not at all. So we still experience that out on the road as truckers. I know for myself, I still like to take the routes that are just on the highway, like literally. I don't really enjoy getting on the back roads, but sometimes it's called for that. To get to certain places, you need to utilize those back roads, but then you have a lot of back road truckers that just really know their way around. And although I feel confident that I can find where I'm going and get in and out, there's some routes that are very, very that that your phone may not work. So you want to have a backup solution to that, and just in case you're stalled out on the road, on the side of the road, you want to make sure that you have some tools to utilize for safety reasons. So make sure that you carry, extra, and some people, they really take that for granted. Like, we know that we should have these items, but people tend to not replace them if they've used them before, or your battery is run dead on your flashlight, you haven't replaced them. So at the time of need, now you don't have the items that you actually need. So you want to make sure that you have flashlights, bulbs for your truck lights, in case your marker lights go out or your headlights go out. Some of us are able to pop them in and do them ourselves. Some of us, we need assistance on doing that. But you want to make sure that you have a lot of these supplies that you may need. First aid kits, because you never know if you get injured while under your truck, or trying to repair something that you feel confident you can do yourself. You want to make sure you have any of those backup tools as well, because it may be something that you could do for yourself if you're comfortable with doing that. Not something I suggest for all, but for those who are very aware of their truck, how it operates, and how to do quick repairs, that's great for you. So you want to make sure you're prepared for that. Make sure you have some food, snacks in your truck, because you could be there for hours. You don't really know what to expect. So you want to make sure that that you have, some of what you need. I don't want to leave without going back to my ladies again and share a story that once happened to me at a truck stop. I was parked and it just went in for a shower. I came back out to my truck, and apparently I was parked by a truck driver who was looking for a particular lady that kind of met my description, and she, just really looked well, and it was dark too. So, we resembled in a way. And how I know that it was, I was walking to the truck, and this driver was he didn't know I was walking to a truck. I was actually, walking out in the open. I hadn't reached the truck yet, but that's where I was going. Him not knowing that, he was asking me to come over to his truck. And I'm going, no, why would I come over to your truck? And he's like, I'm over here, like pointing me in the direction. So, to let him know that, to let me know that he's been waiting on me. Well, I just kind of ignored it, and I just continued on to my truck. And as I was watching, another car pulled up, and it was a lady who resembled myself in complexion and hair and, even physique. So it was like, okay, I could see how he could have gotten that confused, but she was a stranger to him, obviously, and she was there to offer some companionship for him for the night, but he confused me as his mystery companion, and that right there is very is another safety issue. So females, be aware and be cautious of a lot of things, even how you dress. I mean, we can wear whatever we want to wear. We should be able to feel comfortable doing whatever it is we want to do, but just know that we may have some unwanted attention. And if attention is good for you, then that's great. But just know that when it's not granted or not wanted, that will make you feel very uncomfortable. So just look out for those things. But I'm going to let you guys, we're going to get out of here, and I'll speak with you guys again In order to make this station great, we hope that you continue to support us. So please, and if you need any consulting or freight dispatching services, don't forget to check out the website at goldenwaytransport.co. And you guys be safe out there on the road. Please use your headsets, hands-free calling. Be very focused. And you are my road warriors. I really, really respect all you drivers and all you commuters. And I look forward to chatting with you more on our next episode. See you then.